Most people think of the Clone Wars. They think of lightsabers, force powers, and legendary duels from Star Wars to Clone Wars. But beneath all of that spectacle was an army of men engineered for one purpose: to fight, to die, and to be forgotten. And yet somehow, they became the most human characters in the entire war. The clones weren't volunteers, they weren't patriots. They were manufactured on Camino from the DNA of Jango Fett. Accelerated aging, behavioral modification, inhibitor chips, they were designed to obey. From birth, they were told, "You are expendable." The Republic called them property. The Senate debated their costs like equipment. Even some Jedi saw them as assets rather than individuals. And yet, they developed names, personalities, brotherhoods. Rex, Fives, Jesse, Echo. They chose identity in a system that denied them one. Let's be honest, the Jedi were generals, but the clones were the soldiers who actually won battles. Strategically, the Republic's strength wasn't the Force, it was discipline, coordination, and sacrifice. Clones held the line on Umbara, they defended Camino, they executed complex assaults across hundreds of systems. Take Captain Rex, serving under Anakin Skywalker. Rex constantly balanced loyalty with independent thought. He questioned orders, he adapted in battle, he protected his men. That's not blind obedience, that's leadership. The clones weren't mindless, they were tactically elite. And without them, the Jedi fall in weeks. And then came the cruelest twist in galactic history, Order 66. With a single command from Darth Sidious, clones turned on the very generals they fought beside. Not because they chose to, because they were programmed to. The inhibitor chip stripped them of free will. Think about that. They fought for years beside Jedi, saved them, bled for them, only to become weapons against them. Fives tried to warn everyone. He died for the truth. Rex resisted. You could see the conflict in his eyes. The clones weren't villains. They were victims of the most calculated betrayal in Star Wars history. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The Jedi preached compassion, but the clones practiced it. They fought for their brothers. They mourned their dead. They questioned morality. Some Jedi treated clones as disposable strategy pieces, but clones treated each other like family. In many ways, they showed more emotional depth than the order that commanded them. And that's why their story hits harder than any lightsaber duel ever could. The Jedi are remembered as heroes, statues, legends, myths, but the clones, most of them don't even have graves. They were created for a war they didn't choose, forced to betray leaders they respected, discarded when the Empire rose, and yet they fought with honor anyway. Not because they were programmed to be heroes, but because they chose to be brothers. That's why the real heroes of the Clone Wars were the clones. If you think the clones deserve more respect in Star Wars history, subscribe, because we're just getting started around here.